Christian greetings, friends. Many have requested instruction, practical demonstration of the Ellen White planting method. We are currently at the School of Agriculture, and if we can just show you, the students are in action. Trees have been planted. We've almost reached our target.
Of 100.
Our target of 100. We're almost done. We have used for all 60 plus trees so far we have planted.
68.
68 trees.
We have got 32 more.
We have used the Ellen White method, and many have inquired practical demonstration of this method. So this is what we're going to be doing, giving you a practical demonstration of the Ellen White method. I'm going to read the vision from Ellen White herself. This was not so much something that she made up. This is something that heaven, God himself gave to Ellen White. But before we read that and speak of this vision, I just want to share a quotation that is found in Fundamentals of Christian Education, just showing the place where agriculture finds itself in preparation for what is to come. In the book Fundamentals of Christian Education, page 322, inspiration says, the time is not far distant when laws against Sunday labor will be more stringent. And she says, and therefore grounds should be sought away from the cities where we can raise fruits and vegetables. Then she makes the statement, agriculture will open up resources for self-support. So inspiration is saying, in light of the coming Sunday law, that in order for us to prepare for that crisis, she says we must get out of the cities, and then she explains to the country and what must we be doing in the country. She says to raise our own fruits and vegetables. Why? She says agriculture will open up resources for self-support. That's fundamentals of Christian education. Now, Fazlin's going to briefly share with us the ingredients that we're going to use, and then I'll read the vision. So Fazlin, if you can just briefly share with everyone the ingredients for the Ellen White method that we're going to be using.
Okay. Good morning, friends. So today I'm just going to walk you through the ingredients that we use for the soil to make the rich dirt or the rich soil, and also for this Ellen G. White method. So we've got compost. I don't know, Devonay, if you want to maybe lift it up so the viewers can see.
Okay.
Or can you?
So we have compost. How many bags?
We need 2 bags of compost.
Okay.
We also use topsoil, which is this dark soil, which we get from the hole that we've dug. So keep that soil.
So show them which soil we're not using.
We need 7 wheelbarrows of that topsoil.
If you can look here, this is the soil we're not going to be using. This here comes from the hole, but it's orange, it's clayish soil. It's not good because it's not, in every aspect, it's not good. Water retention, oxygen, this is nutrients deficient. We cannot use it. It's clay.
Okay, so just make sure when you dig your hole, and we'll go through the steps. We're just going through the ingredients now. When you dig your hole, make sure you separate all the layers. Put the topsoil, the rich soil, one side. Put the clay soil or the orange soil another side. The rocks also separately. Don't mix everything together. So again, we're using topsoil, 7 wheelbarrowfuls of topsoil. We need 2 bags of compost, lime or calcium.
Lime.
For planting, for agriculture.
Can you this is for the taste of the fruit and for better fruit. You want tasty fruits, then you need, most soils are deficient of lime, calcium, and so you need lime.
So 2 cups of lime.
Yes.
We also use phosphate or soft rock phosphate. 2 cups of that.
This is for your root growth, causing the roots to go deep, hence better fruits. So we're worried about fruit. We want good fruit, and this is best for your roots, causes the roots to go deep. Rock soft phosphate.
And don't worry if you're not catching all the measurements, because we will provide this document with the steps, the ingredients, and the measurements on the website, the Messengers of Present Truth website.
Yes.
And then 1/2 cup of kelp meal. You want to tell them what kelp meal is?
So kelp meal, basically kelp is from the ocean. It's
an algae.
Yes. So this is gonna actually, it's full of nutrition, minerals. It's gonna enrich the soil. Hence, better fruits, more nutritious fruits.
Okay, it's an algae or a
It's like
seaweed.
Seaweed, yes.
It's a seaweed which they
Yes.
mix and they make into a meal.
Yes.
And it accelerates the growth of the plant or the tree.
Yes.
Okay, and then we also use cow's manure, half a bag of cow's manure.
So this is cow's manure. There's cows not far from where we are staying. So here's cow's manure.
And then we also use 1 liter of seawater. If you don't have seawater, you can use Celtic salt.
Celtic.
Just 1 tablespoon of Celtic salt. You can use it on its own, or you can dilute it in 1 liter of water.
Yes.
Okay, and then peat moss. We need 3 cups of peat moss.
So just for the salt, what's the salt for? The salt has, I forget the exact number, but 80 something minerals. You also want this to enrich the soil. Sea salt, Celtic salt is sea salt. The difference, if you can get seawater, better, but if you can't get seawater, either Celtic salt or sea salt. This is sea salt, but what's the difference between sea salt is the way it's harvested. Celtic salt is harvested by hand. Dry ocean beds, they're harvested by hand, whereas seawater, to get that salt, goes through a process and it loses some minerals. So the best, if no ocean water, then use Celtic salt. Or molasses, what's this, the pink salt? Himalayan salt.
Just not table salt.
Yes.
Okay. And then we also use peat moss. Peat moss really helps retain the moisture in the plant, in the tree.
So this is
we
peat
need
moss.
3 cups of peat moss.
This is peat moss.
Okay. And then we also use unsulfured blackstrap molasses.
Molasses.
We use that. Just 1/3 of a cup of molasses. And
So
then,
this is optional. So this is something we've just put in. This is optional for the Ellen White method. This is not really needed, but everything else I would encourage that we have. This is not a must, but if you can, then use it.
okay, and then we also use leaf mulch, which we've got just over there.
Leaf mulch, or you can use grass clippings.
And the amount is 1 wheelbarrow full of leaf mulch.
Yeah.
And then the last ingredient that we need, that we use, is half a bag of fertilizer. Where's our fertilizer? Half a bag. It says half a bag of fertilizer.
So we're not gonna. This is the fertilizer. This is also optional.
You can show them.
Yeah, this is optional. This is optional.
Just half a bag of that.
As the molasses is optional, these two we've just added in. We've just added these two in. The rest, I would encourage us that we
Oh
use.
yes, and we forgot the stones and the rocks and 2 pipes.
So there's this is a layer of rocks. We're gonna see the
You can tell them
pheasant's
why.
gonna read the vision. But why the rocks? So you'll find out when you read inspiration in the book Education. Inspiration talks about electric current. You'll find that in order for the plant or the tree to grow, there must be electric current. Now the purpose of the rocks is to inculcate and create that electric current, that electric environment. So this is the reason for the rocks. Now the pipes also is to trap, which we're going to use is to trap some air in the bottom of the hole. We're going to show where the pipe should go. There's a lot of confusion. Also, we misunderstood, but as we're learning the science of these things, we realize where the pipes should be going. So I think that's
the
about
ingredients?
it. Yes.
So
Then
now
you must have your tree.
You must also have your tree, whether
Pecan.
it's a fruit or nut. So today we're planting, we're going to demonstrate with a pecan nut tree.
Okay, so we're going to read to you the vision. This is from Selected Messages, Book 3, page 328. Selected Messages, Book 3, page 328. Now, before I read the vision, I just want to share a quotation in the book Education. Inspiration says, in the cultivation of the soil, she says, the thoughtful worker will find treasures little dreamed of opening before him. Then she makes the statement. She says, no one can succeed in agriculture or gardening. She says, unless they give attention to the laws involved. So in planting, in growing stuff, she says there are laws involved. And she says, obedience to these laws will produce success. So if we want success, then I believe whatever God has said in lines of agriculture, these are the things we must implement. They will produce success. So we want to follow what God says. I'm going to read to you Ellen White's vision of planting God has given her. Now, hear what inspiration says. Selected Messages, Book 3, page 328, paragraph 1 and 2. She says, whilst we were in Australia, we adopted the plan of digging deep trenches. So here's a deep trench. And filling them with dressing that would create good soil. This we did in the cultivation of tomatoes, oranges, lemons, peaches, and grapes. The man whom we purchased our peach trees told me that he would be pleased to have me observe the way that they were planted. I then asked him to let me show him how it had been presented in the night seasons, that they should be planted. Now listen, she said she saw this in the night seasons. God showed her in vision. Now listen to what she says. I ordered my hired man to dig a deep cavity in the ground, then put rich dirt. So deep cavity, rich dirt, then stones, then rich dirt. After this, he put layers of earth and dressing until the hole was filled. Now, I know that was a lot that we but that's the steps. This document, as Fazan says, is available on our website with all measurements. It's all there, and the drawing of each step, it's all there. Then she concludes, she says, I told the nursery man that I had planted in this way in the rocky soils of America. I invited him to visit me when this fruit should be ripe. He said to me, you need no lesson from me to teach you how to plant trees. So here you can see, friends, this is the light God has given his servants on planting trees that would be much faster production of fruit. And so we want to use this because time in Earth's history is late. And so therefore God has given us light on how to rapidly cause trees to grow and thus prepared when the crisis comes of no man buying and selling. So now Fazan's going to walk us through the steps.
Greetings again, friends. So you've just heard or listened to Devaney read the Ellen G. White vision, the vision that Sister Ellen G. White had from God, from selected messages. So now we're just going to break down that method that Sister Ellen G. White received. We just want to break it down into the steps. So I'm going to read the step-by-step method on how to plant a tree according to what Sister Ellen G. White got from God, the vision she received from God. So we broke this down into 10 simple steps. So step 1 is to dig a deep trench or a deep hole. And the measurement there is 1 meter by 1 meter or 3 feet by 3 feet. So it needs to be 1 meter deep and 1 meter in width, as you see over there. So this hole, this deep trench has already been dug. And it is 1 meter deep and 1 meter in width. Step 2 is to add rich soil, a layer of rich soil. So the rich soil, we've just explained now all the ingredients that we add to the topsoil to make it rich, which is all the ingredients which I've already mentioned earlier, which is the compost, the lime, the phosphate, and all those ingredients, and the measurements we will provide to you. So we must add a layer of this rich soil. So the viewers might ask, how much of that, how much should that layer be? If you want to maybe explain to them how thick that layer should be.
So the layer, all you basically do in your coal is to fill up the hole. So the layer is not specifically, I cannot give a specific amount.
But as we're going to demonstrate now, and you'll estimate and see how Devaney layers it. So it's not too thin, but it should be, you'll see on the picture as well that we provided. Just make sure, if you know that you've got that 1 meter hole, just make sure that you lay it sufficiently. Not too high, because you still have other layers. There's about 1, 2, 3, 5 layers that this hole needs to take up. So we need to just estimate. And you'll see, brothers and sisters, as you plant more of these trees, you'll get more knowledgeable on how thick that layer should be. But we will demonstrate now. So the first layer is a layer of rich soil. So that goes in first. Then step 3, you add a layer of stones and 2 pipes. Step 4, you add rich soil over the stones and the pipes. Step 5, you add topsoil over that rich soil. Step 6, you put the tree on the topsoil. This is where the tree goes. It goes on the topsoil. Step 7, you fill the hole with rich soil. You'll see Sister Ellen G. White says dressing or rich dirt. That is your rich soil and rich soil. The soil, all the amendments that you've added to the topsoil to make it rich. So you fill that hole with the rich soil. Once the cheese or the final layer goes on, then we start to water the tree, or we water the plant, or the hole rather, until there is a puddle that's forming in the hole, because we want to water that tree well. Then we cover the hole with, or that layer with, mulch or grass clippings. That's the final layer that goes on. That's just going to retain all the moisture. And then we've added this step on the steps and to do a prayer. So we just pray over the tree that the Lord may bless it and that it may be enriched with nutrients and bear good fruit. So those are the 10 steps, the easy steps that we have put together from the Ellen G. White method. So now we are going to demonstrate how to plant this tree. Where is our tree? And it's a nut tree. Pecan nut tree over here that we are going to plant.
Yeah. So
according to this method, the Ellen G. White method.
There's so much to say, but we don't want to share so much. But simple. Some nut trees cannot bear. They're not self-productive. They cannot produce themselves. They need another variety next to them. So we've planted our 2 pecans. Pecans can self-produce, but the almonds, we have to put 2 different varieties which are on the other end so that they can produce. Now we're gonna get into
planting the tree. The Ellen G. White method.
So what I'm gonna first do, I'm gonna just go into the hole before I start mixing, and I'm just gonna prepare the hole, just do a final touch to prepare the hole. The hole is now prepared. I just prepared it, final touch-ups. 1 meter by 1 meter is the standard of the hole. However, you can use a bit deeper or bigger, that's fine, but normally 1 meter by 1 meter. If you go bigger than that, that's also fine. So now we're gonna start the mixture. We have 2 bags of compost. I'm not gonna mention, Fazan has already mentioned it. I'm gonna just put it up with the topsoil. So again, topsoil. What is topsoil? The soil that is taken from the top layer. Topsoil, it's also in the diagram online. When you take down the document, download the document, you'll see what's topsoil. It's just that top layer of soil. So Fazan, the mix, can you put the mixes in? So this is the 2 bags of compost. I'm now opening it and I'm mixing it with the topsoil to make rich dirt Ellen White was talking about. Okay, so Fazan's gonna add the ingredients. I think we can just see the ingredients she adds.
Okay, we're first gonna add the compost, 2 bags of that.
What's that?
Then we add 2 cups of lime. We're using a measuring cup. This is 2 cups. And we just add it to the mixture. Then we add 2 cups of phosphate.
Okay, 2 cups.
2 cups of. It's just. This is about 2 cups. 2 cups of phosphate or soft rock phosphate.
That is kelp. We put in our half a cup.
Half a cup of kelp meal.
Three cups of peat moss.
Half a bag of cow's manure. I'm going according to the...
Okay.
Then we add half a
put that
bag
half a
of
bag
cow's manure.
Okay.
Okay. Then we put a tablespoon of Celtic salt. We've already measured this. Is this the peat moss?
Peat moss, yes. 3 cups. So this is the rich dirt Ellen White is talking about. We are making the rich dirt, and then we're going to follow each step.
Three cups of peat moss.
Get the sopra de sharif. It's fine.
Fine.
We'll just mix, yeah.
Let me just
So,
try it
yes,
this way.
yeah. So friends, this is the rich dirt we have now mixed. You have seen us mix it. You've seen the ingredients we put. This is what Ellen White calls rich dirt. We're going to put the first layer as she says in the vision. So what we have now is rich dirt. And I want to encourage you that if you don't have every single ingredient, do not put off planting of the tree. Use what you have. It's a method of heaven. God always asks what's in your hand, and then he uses what's in our hand to accomplish great things. So if you have compost, is essential. Lime and phosphate, essential. Those 3 ingredients, very essential. If you have only that, go forward. Other ingredients also essential. If you have all, then praise the Lord. But do not put off planting of the tree. Do it. A time's coming when we cannot buy or sell. And so use what you have. God can bless it. Remember, even with all these ingredients, we don't have confidence and faith in the ingredients themselves. We're still dependent upon God's blessing to cause that tree to grow. So the main thing is step number 10, even though it's step number 10 which we've added in, that's the most essential part, and that is prayer and faith. And so friends, we want to encourage you, do not put off planting the tree if you don't have all the ingredients. So now we're going to take the rich dirt, and we're not using all, we're just going to use some for the first layer. So this is what we're going to do now. We're going to put our first layer. Just come more, Sharif, for Fazla. Man. Yes, good.
Is that
So,
enough?
yes, we don't want to use all.
Yeah.
So, as you planting, you don't want to use all of this for your first layer because you still have 3 other layers you need to use for this rich dirt. So now I'm going to jump in the hole and even it out so that we can put the next step. What's the next step, Fazlin?
The next step is to add the rocks or the stones and the 2 pipes. So Devonay is just evening it out, that first layer. He's evening that layer out. You could even stamp on it a bit if you wish.
Yes, you have to. You should. Stamp on it.
So you just compress it a bit with your feet, with
Yes.
your weight. So you just stamp on that layer, the first layer. And then once we've done that, then we add the
So
2
you-
pipes and the rocks.
Yes. So we've explained what's this for. It's to trap the air. So you can just throw the rocks and then I'll put the pipe last. This is for the electric current Ellen White speaks about in the book Education. Now on the document that we have online, there are some principles, basic principles of agriculture we placed inside. There's so much more that as we are studying, we are seeing God has spoken a lot on this issue of agriculture. You can just throw it in. Now again, I say friends, if you don't have so many rocks, don't stop, use what you have. Not for every single tree, use what you have. The principle is what is in your hand. God will bless your effort as long as you put an effort. Amen. So
We just got a few there.
yes, that's good. That's good. So, as you can see, friends, this is the layer of rocks Inspiration talks about. This is your 3rd step. First, your hole, first layer of rich soil, rocks, and now we're going to add the pipe for air. Microorganisms need air. So this is where we are putting it. Some microorganisms can live without air, some are dependent upon air. So the bottom layer, we have no air, but the 2nd layer, we want to trap some air for the microorganisms, which the tree is dependent upon in order to survive. So now I'm going to put my pipe in.
And then you just close the openings
Yes,
of the
to
pipe
trap in the air.
with rocks, with big rocks, to trap the air in. And also to prevent the mud from getting
Yes.
clogging the pipe. So that's the 2nd layer of the rocks and the 2 pipes. And then we add rich soil over this layer.
Now we're going to put a layer of rich soil. But I see there's a lot of rich here. Yeah, we want to also add some of this in and then we'll keep. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to even, the next step is I'm going to just even out the 2nd layer of rich soil. So 2nd layer of rich soil, this is it.
And now
Then
we
we're going
add
to put
topsoil.
topsoil.
This is the
So
plain,
this is plain topsoil.
not amended.
Not amended. This is
just
topsoil, which we're now gonna add.
Yeah.
Which Ellen White calls earth. She calls earth.
Get out of the way there. Can keep some for to mix with the.
Yeah.
That should be good. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so
you
this is
even
the
that
earth she talks about. I'm now gonna
Even that layer out.
even this layer out.
Then the tree.
So this is quite a hole that is just over 1 meter by 1 meter. So we're gonna need, before we put the tree in, now if you can see, this is where you must just use your mind. So if you can see, we are still a bit deep to put our tree. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add just a little bit more topsoil just to bring it up before we add our tree. If we put our tree here, it's gonna be sitting too low and we don't want that. So we're gonna add a little bit more topsoil. As you can see, we've just added extra topsoil, which Ellen White calls earth. We've just added it now. I'm gonna spread it out because this hole was just over 1 meter by 1 meter, which is also fine. It's not a problem if it goes bigger. So I'm gonna even it out, and then Fazlin, whilst I'm evening that out, she's gonna put one more final step, which this we are adding. This is not 100% a pot. We're adding molasses and sulfide molasses.
So we only add this molasses to the final rich soil layer. Because remember, if you look at the steps, there are 3 layers of rich soil in this method. So we only add the blackstrap molasses to the final layer of the rich soil. So I'm going to add it to the soil now.
Now someone might say, what's the purpose of the molasses? This is a step we've just added. Not really part of the full vision, but why are we adding blackstrap molasses? There's microorganisms in the soil that feed off that sugar of the molasses, which cause them to duplicate and grow or produce more microorganisms, which is needful for the roots of any tree. Any tree, any plant, there must be microorganisms. So this is to cause the growth, or rather the duplication of microorganisms within the soil. Now the tree makes its own sugar, which feeds the microorganisms, and they make a swap over. So we are just assisting the tree by adding the molasses, which is going to help cause those microorganisms to duplicate, which is going to cause the tree to grow faster. So trees do make their own sugar from the sun, from the water, and from the air that feeds the microorganisms within the soil. So now, next step, Fazlin, we put in the tree in. So this is a pecan tree that we are now putting in. Okay, so I just want to share. Now we have a rock. Now in some places a rock's going to be needful. I'm not going to so much put the rock because I see it's going to lift my tree up. Or
it's a tall tree.
It's quite a tall tree. It's a much grown tree, not fully grown, but obviously it's bigger than normal. In some places where you have winds, a lot of winds, that rock's gonna be needful. It's gonna cause the roots to hold to that rock. It's gonna be an anchor for the tree. But for the sake of the demonstration, we normally don't put the rocks in every method of planting trees. There's already so much trees there that will break wind. Even if there's strong wind that's coming, it will be broken by all these trees. So for us, the rocks are not so, it's not needful, but in areas where there is strong winds, I'm gonna encourage you to put the rock. But for the sake of demonstration, I am gonna put the rock, even though we don't normally put rocks, but I'm gonna give the demonstration of how you would do it. So I'm gonna put the rock here. So the rock will come and sit, it's gonna sit on this, the tree is gonna sit on this rock. Now this plastic must be taken off. You cannot put your tree in with this plastic. It'll actually, there'll be no growth. Okay. How much? Okay. So now,
Plastic there,
I just want to show you, you want to massage it gently, massage it to open up the roots.
Plastic.
Gently you want to massage it to open up the roots so that the roots can easily maneuver. Okay, now we're going to add the final layer of topsoil. All right, friends, so as you can see, we've put the final layer of rich soil. The tree is in. Now we have 3 more steps. And Fazen's just going to mention those 3 steps now that we have. Next step is, as you can see, we have the hose pipe. It's time for water.
Okay, so now we're going to water this tree.
So now we've just finished watering it. Friends, we are coming to our 9th step, which you're gonna see online. We have the document. We are putting in the mulch or the grass clippings, which is gonna be a shield, but also create worms. Worms, it's gonna produce worms. Worms is also healthy for your tree. So we just add in the grass clippings. This is going to create the worms that is needed. And so friends, this is it. This is the LNG White method. Very, very simple. The document, as I said, is online where you can follow it with each measurement outlined there. So the last step, which is most essential, when you read inspiration, even in the book Education, it is not the tree itself or the seed itself, there's life in it, but it's God who must exercise his power to cause it to germinate and eventually to bear. So the final step is prayer. That's most essential. And so we want to say to your friends, God's blessings. We hope this was helpful. We're now going to pray. Maranatha, God's blessings.